Top of the morning, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. You're listening to the Positivity Hour, okay? And or watching, depending on, how you want to intake this, as in, since it is a podcast, you can intake it as such, or on my YouTube channel is the video to go with it. So, with that, I think the video is lined up. Let me make sure real quick. And if you're listening to this, you're like, what is going on? What is this malarkey? Yeah, I'm lined up the speakers in the cut. Yeah, we're in the frame enough to, get the point across to what we're going to talk about today. And what we're going to talk about today is, I haven't fully decided, but it's going to be something to do with coronavirus, something with how to overcome this pandemic. Tasty water. And how to keep yourself entertained and just, how to keep a positive mindset. So, with that note and all that being said, welcome back. It's your boy, Darshawn Romel Smith, aka the one and only Positivity God, or the _ Positivity God, literally on like every platform. So, check me out, and you're listening to the Positivity Hour. Obviously, I want to have guests and other people on this platform, but, with social distancing and having to exclude yourself from the society just so we can flatten the curve, because that's what we're doing here. We're not trying to fully prevent everybody from getting sick. We're just trying to slow down the amount of people who get sick all at once, because our healthcare system, especially in the U.S., can't keep up. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Definitely have the laptop open and the tablet, but as you can see, the tablet is closed. I was going to write some notes, but I was like, I did that in the last video and or podcast, because we're on Spotify, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on some other things too, coming to Apple Podcasts soon. Excuse me, sorry for the burp. But I don't know, I feel like that's good for getting points across, but I'm just gonna ramble on and see how long I can go for and test my Positivity Hour skills. So on topic though, I guess we're gonna do a little life update right here and just talk about how I'm doing. But I don't really like talking about me. I like talking about other things and social things, and from the perspective of a sociology major. You know what I'm saying? That's what the description says anyways about this podcast on the respective platforms. But me personally, I'm doing fine. My family and us, we're all doing great. We're very privileged in a fortunate position to where, during the times where there are millions of people being displaced, work-wise, socioeconomic-wise, that we're definitely one of the better off people. I'm not saying we have millions of dollars in the savings account. I'm not saying we have savings accounts at all, but I'm just saying I still can go to work because my job is somewhat essential, you know what I'm saying? And my parents' jobs, they are being compensated even for not working. So it's nice to have that security when to know that many other people, especially some who in most cases would normally be better off than you, actually have it worse right now. So that's not to discredit or be finger to the man, yeah, but sorry, that's a very terrible gender generic thing right there for males. But what I'm saying, just to get the point across, and how you could best understand it in a society type ordeal, or is that the best way to say that? I'm not sure, but we're just gonna keep going. We won't take everything around here. But yeah, so to sum all that up in a quick point, we Gucci cuh, so can't complain. Life could be worse. It could be a heck of a lot worse. But at the same time, it could be really better. I could be chilling with my friends. But at the same time, if we were... The only reason, all my friends that I, would want to see or whatever, that, went to different various colleges around the United States, or, back where I live, in Cedar Rapids, is because of this pandemic. So like, yeah, it's like, oh, I want to go like hang out with them or like go interact with them or whatever. The funny thing is, if like this pandemic wasn't like a thing, then we all wouldn't be home anyways. So that's just some food for thought right there. But yeah, moving on. So let's talk about just how to overcome and keep a positive mindset in all of this. Now, this is something, to be honest, I've only thought about on the most basics of the basic levels. And, but, you know, that's what this platform is for. It's for to talk about stuff like this and just, you know, get the bread and fully develop an idea out loud and to test my skills to see if I can actually do it. Because, you know, I say I'm pretty good at it, but am I? I don't know. Viewership on this video will say. So, like I said, one of the biggest things I talked about that a lot of people, especially at first, but I would say like not so much now, have confused is like the purpose of why we need to like socially distance ourselves from other people. Gosh, this water's good. I love Iowa City and going to college at the University of Iowa, but the water's trash. Like Cedar Rapids, muy bien. Very, very nice. But yeah, so the whole purpose, I'm not sure if you know, of social distancing is to literally flatten the curve. I wish I had the graph. If I could find a picture, I may overlay it. But like when I be making these videos, I kind of just like want to get it out there. So you never know. I'm kind of lazy sometimes, like most humans. But you never know. Sometimes I'll go hard in the paint and try a little bit harder. But yeah, the whole point of social distancing is like there's like luckily like we're in a age where we can more easily record and save data and process it at rates that are have never been seen before. So we can look back in the past to like the Spanish flu or like Ebola or like many other viruses and other pandemics and things like that, and look at literally what we did wrong. We were like, okay, it's bad. Why was it bad, and could it have been prevented? And one of the ways it could have literally been prevented was, I can't remember, it was in like the 30s or something, around like the Spanish flu or whatever, or I don't know exactly which pandemic it was, but there was a pandemic that, especially in America's big cities, that no one took serious. So when it did come to the country of the United States of America, no one socially distanced themselves, and the cases went from like a few hundred worldwide to millions within like a week or so, you know? I could think of like New York City or whatever. I think in a video I watched, they talked about how they still held like a parade where like 200,000 people showed up. And, you know, in some places now, especially in like Chicago or like the whole states of like Illinois or like California or New York, it's like almost illegal to have like a meeting of over 200 people. You know what I'm saying? So to have 200,000 people together in a time like that, oh, it spread like wildfire. And of course, those 200,000 people are probably connected to like a few tens of millions of people. You got to think about that, because that person knows like these 5 people, and those 5 people know that 20 people, and that's how it spreads. Okay, so that is the whole point of social distancing. So if you do have it, or you may potentially have it, it's to limit the spread of it. So instead of like a flat curve and then just a huge spike up, but then huge spike down. But like, you got to realize, in that huge spike up, our healthcare system can only maintain like that. It's barely above the minimum. So what we're trying to do by socially distancing is literally flatten the curve, you know? And I'm not any sort of scientist or doctor or anything. I just watch videos and read articles from these people who are educated on the topic, like from the CDC, the Center for Disease and Control, or whatever it's called exactly, and relaying the information back to you. Because I'm not sure if you do the research, but, you know, this kind of scary. I took it serious from the get-go. Like, yeah, it sucks that I got moved up. Like, my rug is right there for my college. My whole college life is currently in my thing, and I'm not sure if you can see, there's an Iowa marching band drum head that my neighbor Jarrett gave me. Shout out to Jarrett. But yeah, so like obviously like I'm like, I've been displaced, obviously. Like, I got kicked out of college, had to move out of living on campus, and I'm back at home. But, like, I still have, like, my job through the university, so, like, I just drive back and forth. But I don't know how much longer that's going to last, but you never know. Like, I just saw today there were 21 new cases of coronavirus reported overnight in Iowa, so it's like, oof. But, yeah, so the whole point, let me fully express the point here, I keep getting off topic, is to flatten the curve. If there's less people that get infected at once, you know, we can properly care and manage and, you know, take care of the people that are sick and need the help. But if you can see, like, in places like Italy or like China, where there's so many people that get infected so fast that you have to choose who lives and dies. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come down to the decision. It's like, do I save this wealthy 60 or 70-year-old, or do I save this young couple with kids who are in their 30s? You know what I'm saying? And that's a terrible decision to make, but that's the whole point of social distancing, is so that you don't have to make that kind of tough decision, because it's not a decision that would have to be made if we would use our big brains, which all humans have. Just some can use it, you know, better than others, and there's no fault if you can't. But you know, it is what it is. So moving on to how you can cope with this coronavirus thing. Obviously, like I said, like, me personally, like, I'm doing fine. Like, yeah, I was like sad for like a day or two, but like, I'm a very optimistic, positive person. That's literally why I have a podcast called The Positivity Hour, and where I talk about stay positive things for an hour, once a week, maybe even twice if I really start feeling this platform going somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But so like, I'm doing fine, but like, there are people who don't have the same mindset as me or the same outlook on the world, who like, just like something like that severe happening to them could put them in like a mentally like dark place, to where like one cannot get out of that scenario or whatever. So when it comes to terms to that, the best thing I would recommend you do is phone a friend. You know, that's one thing I've tried to, you know, do. Like, I've called my friend Maggie a few times, one of my best friends, you know, Jennifer, or Jenny, as you may know. I think I mentioned her on the last one, but like, it was at the end of the video, and I'm not sure how many people actually watched the whole like hour or whatever, or listened to it. But yeah, I've called her, and like, she just moved out of the dorms yesterday, and it's like, she was my neighbor, and she was like, yeah, bro, like, I cried. Like, it was tough. I was like, I almost did, like, after the fact. Like, I'm not a big person that like feel emotions like in the moment, but like after the fact, yeah, man, because it's I'm using more male generics, but it's sad. Look at this bird right now. It's taking a bath in the gutter of my neighbor's house. Oh, how cute. Oh, I almost swallowed the gum right there. Wow. But we've officially been going for about 15 minutes now, but we're gonna keep it going. So yeah, phone a friend, literally. Like, especially like, I'm not sure if you know, but I own this pretty busted up purple Samsung right here, and I have some chill hop, like, non-copyright music going on right now, and I'm not even sure you can hear it, because like, sometimes my voice be like loud, you know what I'm saying? I got a loud raspy voice, as some people would say. But I'm also a very subtle person. I speak in a very monotone like voice, and I think occasionally I use voice inflection, but I don't. But speaking about the Samsung, you know, people with iPhones, they're like FaceTiming each other, you know what I'm saying? And I, you know, obviously can't FaceTime with people with an iPhone, because I don't have an iPhone. But Google makes this lovely app called Google Duo that people who own iPhones can download for free, and pretty much FaceTime with their Android friend counterparts. This right here, I'm not sure if it's gonna focus, but like the little blue, the darker blue icon with the camera is here. Let me see if I can get this to focus. the darker blue icon is the Google Duo app, and it literally is a just a video messaging type thing. So like if you're not one for like phone calls and you like want to like actually look at the person you know you're talking to, or you got so used to talking to maybe in person if you've been like sent home from college, and or maybe you even in high school or like middle school, you know, and you have access to the internet, which is, you know, a privilege in itself. And that's one of the things that's being talked about, especially for people in college, because our whole like our like college experience is now digital. It's all virtual. As I joked around in on Snapchat the other day, I think I still might make a video about like moving out of college my first year, you know, or whatever. How like I now go to the University of Phoenix, or Zoom University, better to say, as in just online meetings left and right, back and forward, up, down, you know what I'm saying, dog? But yeah, so, and I could definitely say, like, I was on the phone with my friend Maggie like last night, or technically early this morning, and like, yeah, you could look the person in the eye. You can look each other in the eye. So if you're real big into eye contact or whatever, I can tell you can do that. But yeah, so there's that. That's one way to do it. Phone a friend. Also, if you have a pet or some kind of loving companion that obviously lives with you. When I say loving companion and I said pet before, I thought about like a significant other, and then I was like, yo, you're calling your significant other an animal. And I was like, that's tough. Technically, we humans are. We just are bougie and say we aren't. But the point I'm trying to get across is spend time with your loved ones, okay? Like, we're all at home for the most part. We're all chilling here. It's a great time to get out of your antisocial shells, because, you know, in the 21st century, you know, once we got a smartphone, we done got complacent, or the opposite, actually, and can't stand simply looking a person in the eye for more than 2 seconds and holding a conversation. Obviously, you know, this is one thing I'm phenomenal at, and if you're going to be involved with me in any sort of type of way, you're going to get great at this, because that's the only way I communicate, and I would love for you to get your personal skills up, but everyone's not good at it. That's one thing, you know, I've come to notice, and had to realize over the years was not everyone is you, Darshan. So please chill out and just help people stay positive. It's one thing to have the mindset, but it's another thing to teach it to others, okay? And that what I just said there applies to so many things in life. Like you got to think of like chemistry or something in like college, like Gen Chem, or like principles of chemistry, or like whatever you want to talk about. If it's one thing to like understand it, but if you can understand it enough to teach it to somebody, you've officially mastered it, you know, I would say. And teach it to someone in a way that it actually works and betters their life, then you're making big moves, okay? So definitely would recommend you take the time and run up that Hulu bill real quick, or that Netflix bill, if you're so privileged enough to have those platforms and to be able to afford and run such things. If not, you know, board games work. Literally, if you have a piece of paper and a pencil, you can make your own deck of 52 cards. Like, I'm saying, like, you got to do things to get innovative, or no, you just need to be innovative and just be outgoing enough and say, you know what, although this is a terrible time to be alive, we as Americans have it way better than the majority of the world. And as I explained to my social inequality professor when I was on our online like lecture the other day, was that although it sucks, yes, you know, like a lot of people have been displaced, like the majority of the country, and a lot of people out of jobs and such. We still got to realize that, you know, we are experiencing such a first world version of this crisis that, like, we just need to be grateful that we are lucky to experience it like this. Like, although it's not great, you got to realize there are people in this world, especially even other first world countries, that like Italy and or like China, well, it depends on how you want to look China, but like I would say China's a first world country, especially with them developing recently in the last 10 to 20 years. And like how bad like they have it, you know what I'm saying? Like there are like 70,000 plus people, like 100,000 plus people in China with the virus, you know what I'm saying? And what we in America we got like what, like 10,000 maybe out of 350 million people. Like that's not bad, and we only have, and this is terrible, especially if you are one of the people who have been directly infected by like a death due to coronavirus. But I'm saying larger scheme, just be grateful if it hasn't affected you, and say that like it's bad. Like you can't like not acknowledge the fact that this is a terrible thing that is currently affecting the whole world with no foreseeable end in sight, you know? But we still have it way better than others. So this is when a mindset of positivity and optimism comes into play. But a bigger thing to hold in your heart is just being grateful, just a lifestyle of gratitude. But that is the biggest way to like keep yourself on track and keep yourself mentally sane. So if you don't have access to a cellular device and or the internet to share and or express yourself with others, and if you don't even have the ability to like entertain yourself on your own, then just take what I just said and just know that it sucks now, but it's gonna get worse. And you want to know what happens after it gets worse? It gets a whole lot better. Okay? So, take the L. We're all taking an L to some extent. But just know that after the L, and after a second L, they come together to make a dub. So take some big old fat dubs, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm just joking. But, so yeah, that's one way to look at this whole pandemic thing. Yeah, this is a time where it's the default is to come together, but obviously you can't come together in a time like this. Virtually, you can. So if you can virtually and are so privileged to do it, do it. Support those around you and help those in need. It's the little things that count in a moment like this. So if you can and are extremely privileged, then reach out and be like, hey, I can't actually help you, but I can guide you in the right direction. Like a big thing, especially in like the community where I live, is like what are parents gonna do for like food for their children? Because some people, their children's like only meals may only come from the food they get at school, you know? Because although it's public school, it's, you know, it's free education, you know, with the air quotes. It's not always free, you know what I'm saying? So there is like some cost to go to like a public school, and it's like, now what do I do? Like I've paid that cost or whatever, and well, that's a rip. I just found out that I got a new camera. Obviously, that's why the quality may be a little different. That this camera only records for about 25 minutes before it cuts out. So obviously, luckily, I thought it like deleted a lot of what the things I said, but it didn't. So that's good. I'm gonna set y'all back up on the tripod now, and I guess I like watch back the footage to see like where it cut out. Oop, the camera's moving. Come on, tripod, work, boy. Oh, okay. We gotta adjust. Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna keep talking as I adjust the tripod. And where I'd left off was talking about how families in need can still get food from their local schools and or organizations that are near them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Nope. Come on, camera. Come on, camera. This is gonna sound really weird on the audio. You're just gonna be like, what is going on? So if you... The camera's moving ever so slightly. I'm not sure if you could tell. And I'm not even sure if I'm still in focus or whatever. It's definitely probably a different angle than before. But back on topic, mother sucker. Okay, so let's go. The point I was leaving off on Yeah, the camera's moving hard now. Gosh dang it. Come on. I had it set up so perfectly. Come on. We're there. The camera's crooked, but we're going with it. I don't care. So yeah, we're going to record for another like 25 minutes, maybe cut it there. But that's even if I have enough to say for that long. But the point I'm trying to get across here is, it doesn't matter who you are. Oh my goodness. Try hard. There are resources available for all. Okay? You could be the richest of the rich, and you could be the poorest of the poor. There's somebody out there who is trying to help you. But the best way to ensure you can get the help you need is to act fast, mother sucker. Because if not, oh my goodness, you are going to be left out. And if you are left out in a time like this, that means you are KIA. Do you know what that means? That means I'm Panda Express Teddy Bear, Panda killed in action, as in death to you by the COVID-19. Water is still really good. Big ups. But moving on from how you can get help and how to cope with this is how to good ways to keep yourself busy. Obviously, if you're a college student, there's no excuse to go hard in the paint because your job probably doesn't even exist right now unless you're extremely lucky. So all you're doing is college. So focus really hard on your education. And I can speak personally that I value my education. I'm gonna get this bread. Okay, I'm gonna try harder than I've tried in the past, and I'm not saying I wasn't trying hard in the past at all, because I just got some grades that came back, and hey, as Drake would say, we made it. Hey, ooh, hey, but it's okay. You can only do that when you work hard. Sometimes that means not having friends for a little bit, or being like, yo, can't hang today. Gotta get this head, like, that was kind of out there. Gotta put my head in this, gotta put my head in the books, and just try hard. So, yeah. On a completely unrelated note, this is only applied for the people who are watching the video. I got these new Pumas right here, but I got a fat dirt mark on them yesterday. So, I will be cleaning those. I'm not gonna do it on camera or anything, but like, yo, the new Puma, like Future Runners or whatever these are called, would definitely recommend. Get a pair. They're like $80. Obviously, I said this on Snapchat the other day when I was saying the same thing and recommending them to other people, was obviously like $80 can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Like, luckily I'm in a fortunate enough position where like I could spend like $80 on a shoe and it not like feel it in the pocketbook, you know what I'm saying? But like for other people, like that's a lot of money. That's like the food for the week or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So if you are in a position where you can afford such a lavish luxury item as a shoe that is colorful and flashy, I would recommend. But back on the topic of good ways how to keep yourself busy. So obviously, do your schoolwork, kids, and or adults, as I am, which is kind of funny. But another way to cope with it is to work out. You know what I'm saying? Although you're supposed to like social distance yourself and everything, you probably have a random open floor or something in your house if you are so privileged to have one. And if you are not so privileged to have a house, well, there's a great big old outside world out there, and to exercise. You can do a lot of things, as in like what I've been doing occasionally is, just going on a run, getting my game up, and trying to get back into the swing of things, because after like being a D1 marcher for a little bit, kind of fell off exercise wise for a little bit, and was just like enjoying life and trying to get back into a more healthier lifestyle. Obviously drinking a lot of branded University of Iowa water, and running, working out, and just trying to live the best life. As I said when I lost a lot of weight the first time around, it's better and way more easier to lose all that weight now than to lose it later on. So yeah, try hard, go hard in the paint, and get this bread, all while listening to your boy, the one and only positivity god, Darshawn Smith, on tips and tricks of how to keep yourself in the heavens and not the dumps of the down below. But so yeah, since we're here, I'll show you this little canvas I got here. It says think positively, learn actively, play more, be yourself, smile always, love passionately, live freely, work hard, shine bright, dream big, relax often, and enjoy yourself. Now, I'm not sure if this whole thing is in the frame or not, but definitely one of the best purchases I have, and this is the first thing I see every day when I wake up. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in a previous episode of the Positivity Hour, but just to reiterate, because it is such like a valid like argument, and it's one that holds a lot of weight behind it, is you are a mirror that is constantly cleaned by a sponge. Okay? This is a different way of saying it, how I've said it before. The sponge part absorbs. The sponge is you. And you are absorbing whatever you intake. Like that being the first thing I see every day. The first thing says think positively. Obviously, I'm always going to think positive. But just seeing that every single day to think positively is just what's being absorbed into my sponge. And learn actively, absorbed. Play more, absorbed. Be yourself. That's a big one. Absorbed. Okay? I've wanted to say this for a minute because I just saw it the other day in like an ad. I don't know the name of the movie, but it has The Rock in it and like some other WWE stars, and it had this one girl who like was gonna be like this new up and coming WWE worldwide entertainment wrestler. And she was like, to The Rock, I don't know how I'm going to be like a better you. And he was like, you don't need to be the better me. You don't need to be the second me. I need you to be the first you. Okay? Like, that's hard. That's like a rapper's bars, man. Because I whipping foreign... I messed it up. I was going to say, because I'm whipping foreign cars. Man, I quit. But back to the sponge analogy. So, be yourself. Smile always, okay? I don't always smile, but in my brain, I'm always smiling. It's just sometimes my cheeks be hurting. So, like, I gotta let my face go, you know? I'm still smiling. I just physically can't do it anymore. But, live freely. Obviously, that's absorbed. Love passionately. I kind of suck at this, but I get better every day. That's the mindset right there. Everything in life is a work in progress. Work hard. Motherfucker, when it comes to it, grind, grind, grind. Because the harder you work now, the easier life will be in the future. Shine bright like a diamond, as Alicia Keys would say. Dream big, because if you're dreaming small, you achieve even smaller. So if you dream really big, you may just mess around and actually do it. It's one thing to dream it, but that goes back to the work hard thing. Are you working hard enough to achieve that dream? To get something that so few people can do, you need to work like so few people do. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. If the work is put in, it'll happen eventually, as my man Shrimp, the rapper, says. I'm about to listen to that song after this. I might even put it on for the outro music. One of the best songs I've ever heard. I can actually do this now because I don't use my phone to record anymore. But yeah. So back to the sponge analogy. Relax often. So we talked about like working out or like going hard in the paint academically. You got to realize to consistently go hard in the paint, or consistently like pump that iron, you need to let your body just rest. Take a deep breath in with me. Take a deep breath out. Woo. And last but not least, enjoy yourself. Because who can be a better you than you? You are it. You are amazing. You are one of a kind. And I don't know who around you appreciates you, and you may not even think I know you, and if you're watching this, I probably don't know you, but you never know. I probably do. And I just want to say, even if I don't know you, I appreciate you, I love you, and I know that you have a big purpose in this world, okay? The question is, have you found it yet? And that's something hard to work on that even I'm trying to think about, but everyone has that purpose in life, and you wouldn't be here if you didn't have it, okay? So put the work in. So now that your sponge is fully absorbed, okay? It's fully there, fully packed with all this knowledge and everything you intake on a daily basis. This is my sponge. Your sponge can be completely different, but this is how mine works. You go up to the mirror, and how the mirror is how you live your life, and then you got to clean it, okay? And when you clean it, obviously it leaves some stuff behind. And that stuff is what gets reflected back to you. So when I say the first thing I see that is absorbed in my sponge that is being left on the mirror is to think positively. That's what's being reflected to the world. That's how people see me. That's how I can confidently say and claim the title as the positivity god. Because you could ask anyone who's ever met me. You could ask someone who's talked with me for only 30 seconds. You can ask, you know, Joe's mama. You can ask Sue's mama, Lisa. I don't know. All of them are going to say, though, Darshan is probably one of the nicest, most positive people I've ever met. And that's just because I put it in the sponge so much that when I occasionally clean the mirror, so much of that gets left and reflected to other people that they're like, wow, how does he do it? I need to write a book because it's not that hard, people. And like so many other things on this canvas that apply to that. That's how, like, literally I was able, and I know I'm picking the camera up here. That's how I literally was able to get this lovely poster here I got after, you know, I became the homecoming king. You can see it on the dog. Don't mind my dirty room, but you know, also peep the art too. But back over here, like, it's how I was able to do this. Obviously, you see the Stay Positive logo, and you see my signature right there. That's a boss signature, if you ask me. But it's how I got this whole community of people. There are hundreds of signatures on there. You know what I'm saying? And I have many things like that I've acquired and accrued over the years. I'm not sure how to best say that, but come on, camera. I need you to stand up for me. Come on, oh my goodness, stay tall. But yeah, so I think the camera's a little sideways, so we're gonna flip this way, maybe throw in a little dance, do some Siggy Drake vibes. But I think I'm coming to the end of everything I'm gonna say, so let me get in my phone real quick and read you a good quote or two, because on my phone, obviously, like the analogy with the sponge, I'm constantly absorbing positive things. You can look through my like social media, and like all the stuff I intake is like stuff that's positive, you know, and I've acquired a list of good quotes, you know, that's pretty extensive, and I want to read you one or two, you know. And this is how I'm going to end it. I feel like I either want to start with like a quote of the video, or like the quote to end the video or whatever, or just like food for thought, you know what I'm saying? I'm still obviously working on this. This is only episode 6 of the Positivity Hour, and it's going to be close to an hour, I can actually say, as in it's going to be like, what, 30 plus minutes at least, you know, whatever. There's no full thing, but there's this quote about gratitude here. And as I read this quote off, I'm going to play the song It'll Happen by Shrimp. And it's on Spotify. Not Spotify. It's on... actually, let me check Spotify. Because I have Spotify Premium, you know, for students. Because, you know, college kid life. And, come on, please be here. Shrimp. Shrimpy shrimp. Shrimp. Yeah! It'll happen. Oh, it is not here. So let's go to SoundCloud. That's where it's originally from, is SoundCloud. Jesus, come on. Oh my goodness. See, this is why I don't use SoundCloud, because I don't have SoundCloud Premium or whatever it's called. Is this it? Oh, right here. Y'all, you know the vibe. Listen to this, you know? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna skip forward a little bit. I just stole your bed like I'm sorry. Yeah. Penciled in the back of the Audi.
try to use me for my clout and then they drop me. Yeah, I just stole your bitch like I'm sorry. Kinda gotta use me for my clout and
I think it's right here.
yeah, I've been waiting here my whole damn life.
Ready for it? This is the whole message of this video.
But nothing ever really goes my way. All I gotta do is say
And it'll happen.
And it'll happen. All I gotta do is say that it'll happen. And maybe that'll make me happy.
Oh! Did you hear that? My man's said, all I have to do is say it'll happen. And maybe it might just make me happy. And maybe it'll actually happen. Okay? You obviously can't do anything in life without first having the thought come into your head. But if you say it out loud enough and if you believe it hard enough, you could do anything. You can be anything. And I mean this. It doesn't matter what your socioeconomic background is. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter if you're red, white, blue. If your main uncle's name is Tom Kazoo. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't matter. Because it'll happen. You need to believe though. So, let me read this quote for y'all. And this will be the end of the video. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted here, but it's okay. I don't make any money on the YouTube version of this. I've made some money on the podcast already, and I literally haven't told anyone about it. So, hey. But yeah, so the quote here, let me just finish with this, is gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past and brings peace for today and creates a vision for tomorrow. So with that, my people, thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Positivity Hour. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, or dislike, or unsubscribe. I don't care what you do, as long as you're staying positive. That's enough for me, okay? Or at least if you try. And if you're watching this, if you're listening to this on any other platform, make sure you follow and hit your boy up. My Instagram and most other things are to some extent if you can find me by searching Darshawn Smith. That's DARSHAUN or _positivity_God. And I'm getting an ad right now. See, this is why I don't use SoundCloud. But shoot me a question or something. If you got a topic you want me to talk about for the Positivity Hour, please feel free to enlighten me so I can break down something from a sociological perspective. So I'm not sure I did that too much in this video today, but I looked at it at face value, thinking about everyone, because my major is to study all human behavior, not just specific groups. That's called another thing. I'm blanking out on the term, but on that note, stay positive or not, the choice is yours, and we out. Thank you so much. I love y'all. I love you, whoever's watching this, and you are amazing. I need you to believe that, because it's one thing for me to know it, but it's another thing for you to know it too, okay? So, peace out, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, and whatever you want to be called, because here at Stay Positiveville, we are gender inclusive, we don't discriminate, and we only include and appreciate. And on that note, think positively, learn actively, play more, be yourself, and work hard. We out. Completely unrelated note, I actually just found it on Spotify, so check it out, because it'll happen. Oh, stay positive. I love you. Bye.